Stop everything you are doing and listen with the intensity of a man who has decided to attract so much money he will never struggle or spend it all in this lifetime. You say you want money. You say you want freedom. But I say you do not yet want it badly enough, because if you did, you would have it. The man who truly demands riches from life, with definiteness, with burning desire, with unrelenting persistence, cannot be denied. So let me be plain. If you are broke, it is not because life is unfair. It is because your mind is still cheap. You have allowed fear to reason with you. You have allowed doubt to sit at your table. You have waited for a better moment, a better mood, a better economy. But I tell you now, there is no better moment than now. There is no future for the man who delays. There is only decay. Decay of belief, decay of purpose, decay of wealth. Do you think riches are a gift? They are not. They are claimed. Do you think wealth is earned through luck or lineage? It is not. It is constructed brick by brick by the thoughts you permit and the actions you repeat. And I will prove it to you, not with fantasy, not with empty praise, but with law. The law of definiteness, the law of faith, the law of organized action, the law of cosmic habit force. So listen closely, because you have never truly been poor. You have only been undisciplined. You have never been locked out. You have only failed to knock with authority. And you have never been denied money. You have simply not yet become the type of man it obeys. But if you listen to this speech with decision, if you silence every excuse and demand mastery, if you repeat the affirmations with absolute belief, then I promise you, your name will soon be written among the rich. Now take a breath. Write down your definite aim and listen to every word of what comes next, as if your life depends on it, because it does. And if you obey, money will come. So much you won't even know where to put it. You were not born to be poor. No man is issued into life with the decree of poverty stamped on his soul. You were born rich in thought, rich in power, rich in the spiritual essence of dominion. But you were taught, conditioned, hypnotized, trained to expect limitation. You were raised to believe that wealth is for the few, that riches are a reward only for the clever or the lucky. That is a lie. The poverty you've known was learned, and what was learned can be unlearned. I speak now to that part of you which never agreed to be poor, the part that still dreams at night of more, still imagines freedom, still feels anger in the presence of bills and chains. That part of you is correct. You are meant for more. But thought alone is not enough. Vague hope is not a plan. Yearning is not a command. Money is not an emotion nor a myth. It is a tool. It responds not to desperation, but to definiteness. It bends its will not to those who wait, but to those who decide. It is a loyal servant to the man who has mastered himself. And it vanishes in the presence of the man who cannot control his thoughts, his emotions, or his purpose. Let me say this plainly. Riches do not enter the drifting mind. They pass it by. They do not dwell in the undecided, the uncertain, the unclear. The riches of life, the abundance of money, of influence, of time, of peace, belong to the man who declares ownership with unwavering intent and commands his world with ordered thought. There is a gate. It is invisible, and it separates the man who wishes from the man who wills. It is not out there in the world. It is within your own mind. The gatekeeper is your subconscious, and the passcode is definiteness. If your desire is weak, if your plan is vague, if your actions are inconsistent, the gate remains locked. But if you issue the right command, if your desire burns, if your voice rings with certainty, if your purpose is made clear and constant, then the gate swings wide, and the treasures you seek begin their motion toward you. This is not mysticism. It is not luck. It is not the mercy of fortune. It is law. Riches obey law. And that law is this: desire plus faith plus decision plus persistence equals wealth. This is the formula. It is not optional. Remove one part, and the structure collapses. Combine them, and life must give you what you ask, no matter how large, no matter how far. Desire is the fuel. It must be burning, white-hot, persistent, unshakable. A passing wish will not do. A soft yearning is not enough. You must want it like a starving man wants bread, like a drowning man wants air, like a mother wants to save her child. Without that fire, no force will respond to your request. But desire alone is not enough. You must possess faith, not the faith of religious recitation, but faith as a state of mind, an internal conviction that your riches are already yours, though your hands have not yet touched them. Faith must be cultivated, built, repeated, reinforced. It is planted by repetition and watered by belief. Next is decision, swift, final, unchangeable. The man who hesitates is lost. Life does not favor the one who considers endlessly, who weighs every possibility, who fears error more than failure. You must choose what you want. Choose it fully. Choose it now. Choose it boldly, and let no opinion alter it. Then comes persistence, the bridge between thought and result. Most men begin, few men continue. The man who persists is rare. He is the one who keeps moving when others rest, who believes when others doubt, who acts when others retreat. And he is the one to whom money ultimately surrenders. These four forces, desire, faith, decision, persistence, are the magnetic combination. Together they form the current that moves money. They are not emotional. They are not hopeful. They are mechanical. They are spiritual. They are law. If you master them, you will draw riches to yourself in measures far beyond your current comprehension. The gate to wealth is not locked by society. It is not guarded by banks or governments or systems. It is locked by your own lack of discipline. And it is unlocked only by the definiteness of your thought, enforced by the power of your will. The key is in your possession now, but the question remains, will you use it? This speech will show you how. Not with empty phrases, not with theories, but with law-bound instruction. Each part will reveal a new key, a deeper step, a stricter command. This is not a speech for the casual listener. It is for the one who has decided, I will be rich. I will have freedom. I will never bow to limitation again. Repeat this after me and repeat it daily. I now demand of life unlimited wealth, and I offer in return unwavering purpose, relentless action, and service that exceeds the ordinary. Say it aloud. Say it again, not with doubt, not with passivity. Say it with force. Say it with fire. Say it as a man who no longer asks but commands. And the subconscious, the gatekeeper, will begin to listen. And once it listens, it must obey. For the subconscious accepts all commands impressed with emotion and certainty. If you repeat that sentence with belief, every day, every morning, and every night, then life itself will begin to shift. Ideas will come. Opportunities will rise. Allies will appear. Energy will increase. And the man you once were will begin to dissolve, replaced by the one who rules, the one who directs, the one who builds his fortune from thought alone. So understand this now. Money is obedient. It is not spiritual in nature, but it is spiritual in obedience. It flows where order is present. It flees the presence of chaos. If your mind is unorganized, if your speech is careless, if your actions are hesitant, you repel money. But if your mind is definite, your thought is bold, your words are clear, then riches are magnetized to you. Your life thus far has been the result of what you have permitted. Your future will be the result of what you now command. And what you command must be born of a burning desire, a relentless faith, a definite decision, and persistent execution. That is the price. That is the passage. And when you pay it, life will pay you. You are poor only to the degree that you are indefinite. Do not argue with this truth. I have studied thousands of men across every walk of life. From penniless clerks to industrial titans, and without exception, the wealthiest were also the most definite. They knew what they wanted, down to the inch, the dollar, and the hour. The world yields to the man who knows where he is going. All others are ignored. The vague are punished. The undecided are forgotten. But the definite man, he is remembered, he is sought after, and he is paid. Not because he is better than others, but because he does what others will not. He chooses with precision, and he never looks back. Riches respond only to definite aims, not hopes, not general intentions, not scattered desires, but a definite chief aim, written clearly, spoken aloud daily, impressed upon the subconscious with emotion and fire. This aim becomes your North Star. It becomes your identity. It becomes the magnet that draws all required elements to you. Write down your financial goal, exactly. The number, the timeline, the form. Do not say, I want to be rich. That is not a command. That is a whisper. And the subconscious does not obey whispers. It obeys thunder. It obeys certainty. It obeys the voice of a man who will not accept denial. Set your number. I will earn $1 million. Set your time. By the end of this year, set your plan. Through my business, through my skill, through value rendered above all expectation. And then read this aim aloud every morning as you rise and every night before you sleep. Your definite chief aim must be the first voice you hear and the last thought you recall. Let me tell you about Edwin C. Barnes. He had no money, no connections, no prestige, but he had a definite chief aim, to become business partners with Thomas Edison. He did not wish for it. He decided it. He declared it. He announced it to his own mind and then to Edison's front desk. They laughed. They sent him away. He stayed, he waited, he served, he proved himself indispensable. And one day, the opportunity came. A product needed selling. No one else could sell it. Barnes did. He did not earn riches by luck. He earned them by definiteness. His riches began the moment he decided. This is the law. Life begins to respond the moment you do. The subconscious does not require proof. It requires instruction. And the instruction it follows is autosuggestion, the repeated emotional declaration of your goal. Each time you speak your aim with belief, you deepen the groove in the subconscious. And what is impressed there, life must express outward. Autosuggestion is no idle chant. It is spiritual repetition enforced with intensity. If you say something long enough and with enough emotional weight, your subconscious will accept it as reality. And your body, your mind, your habits, your decisions will all begin to obey it without resistance. So I command you, speak your aim, not just once, not when you feel good, not when you are inspired, but twice a day, every day, without fail, morning and night. Say it as a man who believes it. Say it as a man who is building it. Say it as a man who would rather die than live without it. Say this now. I am the type of person who knows exactly how much I desire, and I move toward it daily with absolute purpose. Say it again. Make it your oath. Let no mood rob you of your declaration. Let no delay silence your direction. Let no criticism shake your voice. Say it until it becomes the foundation of who you are. Understand, the act of decision is the moment riches begin to stir in motion. You may not see them yet. You may not feel them. But below the surface, forces are gathering. Ideas are forming. People are being prepared. Doors are beginning to unlock. Why? Because you have decided, and most men never do. They drift. They change their goals weekly. They get excited and then stop. They listen to opinions. They trust the news more than their own vision. They ask the world for permission, and so the world ignores them. But when a man makes a decision, speaks it, and acts on it daily, the universe itself adjusts around him. You do not need to know how. You do not need to know when. You only need to know what. What do you want? What amount? What date? What value will you give in return? Write it, say it, obey it. That is your job. The rest will follow. But if you delay the writing, if you skip the speaking, if you betray your aim with inaction, then do not wonder why money avoids you. Let your aim be bold. Do not fear asking for much. Life does not punish the large dreamer. It punishes the timid one. Ask big. Declare large. Say, I demand riches of life in great abundance, not for greed, but because I am ready to give great service, produce great value, and obey great discipline. And when you fail, and you will fail at times, return to your aim. When you doubt, and you will doubt, read your aim aloud. When you are tired, when you are discouraged, when you see no evidence of progress, read your aim, because the man who continues to declare his purpose in the absence of proof becomes unbeatable. This is why the definite chief aim is the first lesson in every system of success. It is the root, the seed, the hinge upon which all else turns. Without it, nothing works. With it, all things begin to move. No riches will come to the man who is undecided, and no failure can remain with the man who is definite. So let the world doubt. Let the critics speak. Let time delay. Let others quit. But you will speak your aim. You will read it. You will write it. You will walk it, live it, breathe it, and enforce it until it becomes visible. For nothing else is required, and nothing else will do. Now pick up your pen, write your aim, say it aloud, repeat it again, and understand. This is the vault key, and once turned, it can never be reversed. All riches begin in the unseen world of thought. They are not first measured in coins, nor in ledgers, nor in bank accounts. They are first formed in the workshop of the mind, crafted from belief, shaped by desire, and brought to life through faith. Before money touches your hands, it must be possessed in thought. Let me speak plainly. Faith is the only currency that can be spent before riches arrive. It is the invisible builder, the silent architect, the power that binds cause to effect. Without faith, your desires collapse into daydreams, your plans become hesitation, your energy weakens, but with faith, true faith, you become unstoppable. Faith is not belief. It is not hope. It is not the fragile optimism of a man waiting for better days. Faith is a mental state, an inner certainty so strong that doubt cannot enter. Faith is built, like muscle, through repetition. It is created, like fire, by friction, and it must be protected like a treasure, for the world will seek to steal it from you. Let me remind you of a man named Andrew Carnegie. He had no wealth in his youth, but he had an unshakable belief in the law of success. He believed that thought, organized with definiteness, could be transmuted into anything, even a steel empire. And it was this belief that caused him to entrust me with the mission of gathering and teaching these principles. He did not ask me to report facts. He asked me to uncover law. And he paid me not with dollars, but with faith. Faith that this system would change the world. Faith that every man who applied it could rise regardless of background, race, or education. That faith carried me through 25 years of study, and it now carries you through this moment. So I ask you, what do you truly believe? Do you believe that money is coming to you? Or do you secretly fear that it never will? Do you declare your desire aloud each day with conviction? Or do you whisper it quietly, afraid that the world might mock you? Because listen to me carefully. Your results will match your faith. Not your want, not your need. Your faith, and faith is built. It is not given. You do not wait for it, you create it. How? Through autosuggestion, through daily repetition, through emotional reinforcement, by speaking your definite chief aim aloud with power and consistency, until your subconscious accepts it as a fact. You may not believe it yet. That is acceptable. Belief is not required to begin. But if you speak your aim daily, with emotion, with structure, with persistence, faith will awaken within you. It will rise like a fire, first small, then blazing, and soon nothing will shake it. This is not theory. It is the experience of every man who has transformed his life. Let me issue a warning. Faith must be guarded, for it is easily stolen by voices of failure, by memories of defeat, by the laughter of doubters. One seed of doubt, if allowed to grow, can poison the entire harvest. You must defend your belief as a warrior defends his fortress, fiercely, daily, with no apology. Recall Henry Ford. He was mocked, resisted, and told repeatedly that his vision was impossible. But he held to his plan with faith so complete that no engineer, no critic, no banker could sway him. And in time, his faith became fact. The motor car, the assembly line, the millions in riches, all began in thought and were powered by belief. You may say, I've failed before. So did Ford. So did Edison. So did Carnegie. But they did not stay failed. They transmuted defeat into fuel. And you must do the same. You must take every disappointment and hammer it into conviction. For the man of faith uses failure to prove himself, not to disprove his vision. Every morning, before you check the world's noise, speak your definite chief aim aloud. And every night, before sleep, speak it again. Let the sound of your own voice plant certainty in your subconscious. Do not recite it passively. Say it with emotion. Say it with conviction. Say it as if the outcome is already known, because it is. Say this with me. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my plan. I have faith in the law that thought becomes reality. Do not merely speak this. Memorize it. Repeat it until it becomes part of your inner voice. Let it replace every fear that once spoke against your dream. Let it drown out every memory of lack. Let it become the dominant thought in your mind. Why is this so powerful? Because the subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It accepts what is repeated. It obeys what is emotional. It acts upon whatever is impressed upon it consistently. And so, by the law of repetition, faith becomes fixed, and riches must follow. This is how the sixth sense is awakened, the invisible link between you and infinite intelligence. You do not force it. You do not summon it with ritual. You build it with faith, and once faith is established, guidance flows, intuition sharpens, ideas flash, doors open, and life begins to obey you because you are no longer divided. Say again, I believe that all riches I seek are already mine in substance. I believe my actions are drawing them into form. I believe no force can stop what is backed by decision, desire, and faith. If you do not yet believe this fully, that is all the more reason to repeat it. Speak it until your inner voice echoes with power, until your eyes reflect certainty, until your very posture changes. This is how the rich think. This is how they move. This is how they attract wealth, not through labor, but through law. You have the ability now to do what few men ever do, to take possession of your own mind and instruct it to build your fortune. It does not require more education. It does not require approval. It only requires that you declare the right idea, repeat it with belief, and persist until all doubt is burned away. You are not merely trying to get money, you are training yourself to become the man money obeys. And that begins with thought. That begins with faith. That begins now. Faith without a plan is spiritual chaos. It is like a horse without reins, a ship without a rudder, a seed thrown on stone. You may possess desire, you may burn with faith, but until you take that flame and forge it into a plan, you will drift, you will delay, and money will remain a stranger. Riches respond not to raw energy, but to energy organized. You would not build a house without a blueprint. You would not construct a bridge without structure. Yet men attempt to build fortunes with nothing but excitement and hope. That is why they fail. That is why they quit. They begin without a system. They start without order. They move without knowing where. Understand this now. Organized planning is the machinery of wealth. It is how the invisible becomes visible. It is how thought takes form. It is how ideas become income. Your plan does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be complete, but it must exist, and you must begin moving on it today. Take your definite chief aim. Now ask, what steps must I take to bring this into form? What value must I produce? What alliances must I form? What knowledge must I acquire? What hours must I devote? Write it all down. Break it into months, then weeks, then days. This is how a man prepares the soil for his harvest. Let me offer you a warning. Procrastination is the tool of the devil. It does not come with a horn or a tail. It comes dressed as logic. It says, wait. It says, not yet. It says, let's think about it more. And if you listen, your fortune dies unborn. If you permit it, your plans are buried before they breathe. I say to you, begin immediately, not when you feel like it, not when the weather is right, but now. Begin poorly if necessary. Begin clumsily. Begin without full knowledge, but begin. Action is the soul of faith. Movement creates momentum, and momentum makes miracles seem inevitable. And understand this, no great fortune was ever built alone. Every empire, every enterprise, every enduring success was born through the coordination of many minds moving in harmony. This is the mastermind principle, and without it, your plan lacks power. You must surround yourself with one or more individuals who share your belief, support your aim, and expand your insight. I think now of Charles M. Schwab, who took a dying company and made it a billion-dollar success, not by working harder than everyone, but by aligning with minds greater than his own. He understood how to inspire others, how to coordinate talent, how to delegate, how to organize energy. This was not luck, it was planning. Form your own mastermind. It need not be large. One or two is enough if they are definite. Share your plan, ask for counsel, meet regularly, sharpen each other. When two minds move with one purpose, a third mind is born, one of greater power than either alone. That power attracts riches. That power awakens infinite intelligence. Now return to your plan. If it feels too large, break it smaller. If it feels unclear, write more. Do not leave it floating in your mind. Get it on paper. See it with your eyes. Carry it in your coat. Review it each day. This is how you discipline your desire. This is how you command your thought. This is how you build wealth like a craftsman builds with wood and stone. Say this now. My plan is clear. My action is constant. I attract riches because I obey the law of definite movement. Repeat it daily. Let it be the rhythm of your discipline. When you rise, speak it. Before you sleep, affirm it. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. And the man who identifies as one who always acts will soon find that money acts in his favor. You must become a planner. You must become a strategist. You must become a commander of your own destiny, not a waiter, not a wisher, not a wanderer. If a step fails, revise. If a route closes, reroute. But never lose the plan. Never sit idle. Never let a day pass without some motion toward your aim. And do not say, but I don't know how. That excuse is the language of poverty. You may not know how, but you can find out. You may not have done it before, but you can begin now. All great men began in ignorance. They rose through effort, repetition, feedback, correction, and determination. So will you. You are not required to have the full picture. You are required to move on what you do see. As you move, new light will come, new paths will appear, new knowledge will be given. But that knowledge will not arrive until you prove you are serious by taking action. This is why organized planning is the test. The world does not trust the man who speaks. It trusts the man who builds. Your plan, executed with persistence, is your proof. It is your certificate of seriousness. It is your letter to life that says, I am ready. I am willing, I am acting. Let me give you this truth. Riches do not visit the idle thinker. They do not belong to the philosopher without discipline. They do not reward the creative man who will not move. They are reserved for the builder, the planner, the executor, the one who organizes desire into a structure of execution. So begin today. Open your notebook. Write your next steps. Choose a time and place for daily review. Build a system for daily progress. Create a calendar for execution. If you fail to plan your time, you surrender your life to chaos. But if you command your days, you begin to master your fate. And remember, each plan is temporary. It will be adjusted. It will be corrected. That is not failure. That is wisdom. Failure only occurs when a man abandons the act of planning altogether, when he says, "This is too hard," when he returns to comfort. And that, my friend, you must never do. So I leave you with this. Faith gives you vision. Planning gives it legs. If you want riches, do not only imagine them, build the staircase. If you want money, do not only feel it, pursue it with structure. Repeat again. My plan is clear. My action is constant. I attract riches because I obey the law of definite movement. Now return to your desk. Look at your aim. Write your plan and prepare for motion. Because when planning becomes law in your life, riches begin to arrive on schedule. The man who wins is not the one who starts strongest. It is not the one who knows the most. It is not the one who makes the loudest declarations. It is the one who refuses to stop. Persistence is the golden key that turns desire into results. Without it, all plans rot. All faith withers. All riches hide themselves from view. Life will not hand you riches at the first request. That is not cruelty, it is law. All who ask for great things must be tested, not because life seeks to punish you, but because life demands proof. It will ask, do you truly want what you say? And it will not believe your words, it will only measure your actions. When defeat comes, and it will, it is not failure. It is an inquiry. It asks, will you continue? Most men do not. Most men quit when results delay. Most men curse when nothing moves. Most men stop when they feel tired, when they feel doubt, when they feel resistance. But the man who persists, he becomes king. Persistence is decision maintained through resistance. It is not a feeling, it is not a spark. It is a discipline. It is a law. It is a declaration repeated by action, day after day, long after the emotion is gone. The world steps aside for the man who knows where he is going and will not stop until he arrives. I remind you now of Thomas Edison, a man who failed more than 10,000 times while trying to create the electric light. He was ridiculed, scorned, ignored, dismissed, but he kept working. Not because he was sure of the outcome, but because he was sure of himself. He refused to stop. That alone made him victorious. Understand, you are not judged by how you feel. You are judged by how you persist. The man who continues without emotion will outlast the one who burns brightly and burns out quickly. Persistence is what separates those who speak from those who conquer. It is the filter of success. It removes the weak and rewards the committed. Temporary defeat is not failure unless you accept it. The greatest fortunes were built upon setbacks. Rockefeller lost everything in panic. Ford was laughed at by every financier. Lincoln lost election after election, yet all persisted. And because they persisted, they broke through. The same law will serve you if you obey it. You must create structure for persistence. You must not rely on mood. Build daily rituals, morning declarations, evening reflections, scheduled execution, written review. Persistent action is not spontaneous. It is manufactured. It is installed like steel rails, so that even when storms come, your train keeps moving. Read your definite chief aim aloud, daily. Read it especially when you don't feel like it. Speak it through doubt. Speak it through fatigue. Speak it until it becomes louder than all opposition. Every time you speak it, you reinforce your path. Every day you act, you deepen your identity. And that identity, built on persistence, becomes unshakable. This is how the law of cosmic habit force begins to serve you. Cosmic habit force is the invisible momentum of repetition. It is the law by which repeated thoughts become belief, repeated actions become habit, and repeated effort becomes destiny. It is indifferent. It will support failure or success. You must choose the pattern. The law is this: what you repeat becomes permanent. If you repeat delay, you install hesitation. If you repeat excuses, you build weakness. But if you repeat motion, you build inevitability. If you repeat belief, you build results. And if you persist day by day, even the most stubborn resistance will collapse. Each day you persist, you are installing the gears of wealth. You may not see them turning yet, but beneath the surface, in the invisible realm where cause precedes effect, your persistence is building bridges, aligning events, creating force. You are storing up pressure, and one day it will break loose as results, as riches, as reality. Let me give you this. Persistence does not make things easy. It makes you stronger than what is hard. That is the secret. It does not change the mountain. It changes the climber. And once you are changed, nothing outside you can defeat you. Once persistence becomes your identity, wealth becomes a matter of time. Say this with me: I persist until I succeed. I am unmoved by defeat. I will have the wealth I demand, or I will die in pursuit of it. Repeat that daily. Let it become your war cry. Let it become the voice that answers every delay, every distraction, every discouragement. The man who speaks this and lives it cannot remain poor. Persistence will offend your comfort. It will strip you of laziness. It will demand your full effort, your full presence, your full discipline. But it will also reward you with the kind of life most men never taste: a life of command, a life of riches, a life earned by law. Most men are slaves to emotion. They act only when inspired. They fall apart when tired. They stop when things do not go their way. But the man who acts anyway, who moves when uninspired, who speaks faith when nothing has appeared, that man becomes rich in mind first, then in money. So build the habit. Show up daily. Work your plan. Say your affirmations. Move forward without needing applause. And soon persistence will no longer be something you do. It will be something you are. And once you are a persistent man, riches cannot leave you alone. Now rise, review your aim, and act. Do not wait. Do not wish. Do not delay. Move, even if slowly. Speak, even if doubted. Build, even when tired. And you will possess what others only dream about. You may have desire. You may have faith. You may have decision and persistence. But if you attempt to build great riches with your mind alone, you will soon meet your limit. One man can only see so far. One mind can only produce so much. But when two or more minds unite in harmony toward a definite purpose, they create a third greater power. This is the mastermind. The mastermind is not just a meeting. It is not merely a friendship. It is a spiritual partnership, a joining of mental forces so complete, so synchronized, that a new and superior mind is formed, an invisible intelligence greater than the sum of its parts. This mind thinks, guides, and creates beyond what any single man could achieve alone. Align yourself with one or more individuals who believe in your aim, support your growth, and act with integrity. Do not share your plans with the weak-minded, the jealous, or the drifting. Associate only with those who are definite, who move, who speak life into your vision, who hold you accountable to your greatness. It was Andrew Carnegie, the Steel King, who first revealed this principle to me. He did not build his empire alone. He surrounded himself with specialists, with thinkers, with executors, men whose talents differed from his, but whose aim aligned with his own. Through this mastermind, he channeled power that no one man could possess. The same principle was used by Henry Ford, whose genius was not in machinery alone, but in organization. He brought together minds that could build, calculate, design, and manage. Together, they built what no man could build alone. Wealth flowed not just from effort, but from mental harmony organized toward production. But the mastermind is only one source of power. There is another, one rarely spoken of, yet known by every great achiever, whether they could name it or not. That power is sex transmutation. The most potent form of human energy, when controlled and redirected, becomes the fuel for all enduring success. Understand this. The same energy that drives physical union is also the source of creative genius, ambition, and magnetic personality. The world has trained you to waste it, through indulgence, through distraction, through undisciplined emotion. But the successful man redirects it, transforming desire into drive, and drive into wealth. You must learn to harness this power, not deny it, but elevate it. When the mind is inflamed with emotional desire, do not waste it. Channel it, direct it. Use that fire to work longer, think clearer, speak with authority, build your plan, and move with conviction. That is transmutation. The greatest minds in history understood this. Napoleon, whose conquests were fueled by passion and vision. Edison, who worked through the night with focused intensity. Lincoln, who turned emotional pain into moral power. None of them were cold men. They were controlled men. Control does not mean suppression. It means direction. Take the most powerful emotional current within you and point it toward your chief aim. Let it move your body to action. Let it energize your voice. Let it elevate your standards. Let it remind you that you are capable of extraordinary work when you do not leak your power through distraction. Say this now. I transmute my strongest emotions into definite action. My desire serves my purpose. Repeat this until it becomes the law of your life. When emotion arises, do not waste it. Use it. When you feel intensity, do not indulge it. Direct it. The man who masters this law becomes magnetic, creative, powerful, and enduring. Your voice will carry more authority. Your presence will draw attention. Your words will command belief. This is not manipulation. It is alignment. The man who walks in this transmuted power is not chasing riches. Riches chase him. Let us now join these two forces. The mastermind provides you with expanded thought, multiplied faith, and constant accountability. Sex transmutation provides you with explosive energy, emotional power, and creative clarity. Together, they make you a force no opposition can stop. So, build your circle. Choose your allies wisely. Meet regularly. Share your goals. Speak your faith aloud. Build one another. Eliminate weakness. Eliminate excuses. And watch as life begins to bend around your united thought. And daily, discipline your emotions. Guard your energy. Refuse to waste the sacred fire within you on that which produces nothing. Convert it into labor, into speech, into writing, into production, into wealth. This is how you rise beyond ordinary men. This is how you build beyond your own strength. This is how you become a magnet for money, influence, and power, not because you begged for it, but because you became the man who attracts it. Say it again. I transmute my strongest emotions into definite action. My desire serves my purpose. Now rise and walk with the fire of two great laws, the power of aligned minds and the fire of elevated desire. The world cannot stop a man who has both. Whatever you plant in the subconscious mind, whether it be wealth or worry, purpose or fear, definiteness or doubt, will grow. The subconscious does not judge. It does not resist. It accepts. And once it accepts a thought, it begins to shape your world in the image of that thought. That is why you must master it, or be mastered by it. Understand, the subconscious is always working. It never sleeps. It never ceases. It is the silent engine that directs your beliefs, your instincts, your habits, and your results. And if you do not direct it by conscious decision, it will be directed by environment, suggestion, and emotional impulse, most of which are destructive. This mind cannot reject. It only accepts. It obeys the strongest influence it receives over time. If that influence is doubt, it obeys doubt. If it is fear, it obeys fear. If it is faith, it obeys faith. And if it is wealth, spoken with authority, repeated with belief, and felt with emotion, it will bring wealth into your life by law. Let me give you an image. The subconscious is soil. It cannot choose what seeds you plant, but once planted, it will grow whatever you give it. Give it the seed of poverty, and it will yield lack. Give it the seed of riches, and it will yield abundance. But the law demands that you plant, water, and tend it daily. Each time you repeat your definite chief aim, you are planting the seed. Each time you speak it with conviction, you are watering it. Each time you act on it despite difficulty, you are strengthening its roots. And in time, the harvest must come, not as chance, but as the lawful result of mental sowing. You must be vigilant. You must monitor every thought, every word, every reaction, not with fear, but with intention. Do not allow the weeds of fear to grow unnoticed. Uproot every belief that contradicts your desire. If a thought of poverty arises, replace it instantly with the image of wealth, spoken with faith and backed by decision. Say it now. I now command my subconscious mind to direct me toward wealth, and it obeys. Do not whisper this. Speak it aloud. Speak it as a general commands an army. Speak it as a master speaks to his servant. For your subconscious is not your ruler, it is your servant, but only if you treat it as such. The man who fails to command it will be ruled by it, often to his destruction. This is why I instruct you to read your aim aloud morning and night, not because it is ritual, but because it is lawful instruction to the subconscious. That voice repeated becomes identity, and identity, impressed upon the subconscious, becomes behavior, attraction, and outcome. You are not merely hoping to get rich. You are training your inner world to expect wealth. You are installing the thought of riches so deeply that the subconscious begins to alter every perception, every choice, every habit to align with the image of success you have burned into it. This is not done casually. This is not done occasionally. It is done with military discipline every day without fail. Why? Because repetition is the language of the subconscious. It does not respond to single commands. It responds to sustained instruction. That is how all identity is formed. You were once taught to think small. That was done through repetition. You were once taught to fear. That, too, came through repetition. Now we overwrite the old with the new. We overwrite fear with faith. We overwrite poverty with power. And we do so through the most powerful law in existence, autosuggestion. Repeat this affirmation now with full authority. I am a man of purpose. I think riches, speak riches, expect riches, and act in alignment with wealth. My subconscious mind is now saturated with belief, and it obeys my every command. Say it again. Not once, not twice. Say it until you believe it. Say it until no opposing voice remains in your mind. Say it until your very countenance changes, until you walk into a room and carry the identity of wealth before you ever speak a word. You do not rise by emotion. You rise by conditioning. Every thought is a brushstroke on the canvas of your identity. Every sentence you speak is another groove cut into your inner pattern. And if those strokes are definite, consistent, and empowered by belief, you will become what you speak. Let us be clear. Your outer world is nothing but a mirror. It reflects the inner structure of your mind. The poor man is poor in thinking long before he is poor in circumstance. And the rich man is rich in thought before ever touching gold. The subconscious mind makes no distinction. It obeys either man with equal devotion. But if you leave it to chance, it will accept the suggestions of failure, of weakness, of limitation. That is why you must never be passive. You must never drift. You must never permit others to plant ideas into your mind unchallenged. Guard the gate and plant only what you are willing to harvest. Repeat again. I now command my subconscious mind to direct me toward wealth, and it obeys. Make this the final word of your evening and the first command of your morning. Make it the law that governs your decisions, your speech, your conduct. And over time, you will notice a shift, not just in thought, but in reality. Ideas will appear, people will be drawn to you, opportunities will open, courage will increase, clarity will rise. You will begin to expect riches, and riches will respond. Not because you worked harder than others, but because you aligned your inner world with the laws that rule success. This is not magic. It is not luck. It is law. What you impress upon the subconscious with emotion and repetition, you express outward with power and certainty. The mind is master. And when the subconscious is your ally, nothing you command will be denied. So continue your daily work. Speak your aim. Affirm your identity. Visualize your result. And let no suggestion contrary to your wealth remain unchallenged. For you are now not just a man. You are a mental force, and wealth must obey. Let us now bring all laws into harmony. Let us unite desire, faith, decision, persistence, planning, and thought into their final resting place, purpose and service. For no riches are ever complete, no fortune everlasting, unless they are founded on the supreme law of life. You receive in exact measure to what you give. Money is not your master. It is your servant. It obeys the definite man, the faithful man, the persistent man, but only when that man uses it to fulfill a greater purpose than his own comfort. If you chase riches without purpose, they will curse you. If you seek wealth without service, it will turn to ash in your hands. The man who commands money must first command value, and value means service, not servitude, not begging, not manipulation, but conscious, intentional rendering of more benefit than you are paid for. This is the forgotten law. The man who gives more than expected will soon be paid more than imagined. I speak now to your soul. You were not created to consume. You were not born to hoard. You are here to contribute, to expand the good, to multiply benefit, to create systems, goods, and services that elevate others. And when you align your riches with service to mankind, you invoke the highest law. Let us remember Elbert Hubbard, who declared, "Get rich, yes, but render more service than you are paid for." That is the secret. That is the source. That is the gateway to permanent wealth. When you give without limitation, so long as it is attached to a definite chief aim, life must return it multiplied. Ask yourself now, what is my purpose? What will I use my riches for? Who will benefit from my abundance? How will I use my time, my energy, my resources to advance not only my name, but the lives of others? Let this be the question that guides your strategy. Let this be the fire behind your action. You are not here to escape bills. You are here to build bridges. You are not here to impress men. You are here to inspire generations. You are not here to accumulate. You are here to multiply value through inspired effort. This is the final transformation. The poor man thinks of himself. The rich man of purpose thinks of the world. He does not calculate only what he earns, but what he contributes. He does not fear what he spends, but what he wastes by not using his wealth for good. Here is your final test. Can you say aloud with conviction, "I demand unlimited wealth because I have unlimited value to give"? Say it now. And if it stings, if it feels untrue, then you have not yet uncovered your deepest reservoir of power. You must expand your capacity to serve. You must think bigger, move faster, render more, dream broader, deliver more value than any man in your field, and do it without excuse. Say this also: I am the master of money. I am the servant of purpose. This keeps your riches aligned. This protects you from greed. This safeguards your character. It ensures that wealth does not harden you, but magnifies you. If you are weak, money will expose it. If you are selfish, it will increase it. But if you are definite, focused, and driven by a higher aim, money will become your greatest instrument. Your voice must now carry purpose. Your actions must radiate intention. Your reputation must become one of excellence, over-delivery, and certainty. And your entire identity must say to the world, I am here to build something greater than myself. This is how you complete the law. This is how you draw in riches so vast they cannot be measured. You obey the principles. You speak your desire. You persist through defeat. You organize your movement. You affirm your wealth. You control your emotion. And above all, you use it for service. Speak now your final affirmations. I live with definite aim, relentless faith, and constant action. Riches are drawn to me as surely as the river flows to the ocean. I demand unlimited wealth because I am prepared to give unlimited value. I no longer chase money. I attract it because I have become the man who commands it through purpose, discipline, and obedience to law. These are not poems. These are not hopes. These are mental blueprints. Repeat them until they become your law, until every thought, every step, every plan aligns with them. And when you do, you will no longer be trying to succeed. You will have become success itself. And now, your final command. If you know what you want, if you've written it down, if you speak it aloud with belief, if you persist when others quit, then let the world try to stop you. Let circumstance rise against you. Let time delay and critics mock. For the man who moves with definite purpose is a force that cannot be denied. And when you become that man, you will attract so much money. You will not even be able to spend it all. Now go and build